enduring in this country. We want you to use the opportunity of this press conference to make it known to the President of Nigeria that things are very bad with the Nigerian people, and they should do something about it, not to give our demands for a better Nigeria as a child's play. Nigerian pensioners lament and cry out for help. Being the text of press conference organized by the national headquarters of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners on the prevailing economic hardships unleashed on innocent Nigerians arising from the unplanned removal of fuel subsidy held at the conference hall of the Union on Monday, 9th September 2024. Good day, gentlemen and women of the press. The Nigerian pensioners, through their umbrella body, the Nigeria Union of Pensioners, NUP, wish to unreservedly express their anger and frustrations on the pains unleashed on them and other vulnerable Nigerians over incessant hike in fuel prices, resulting from the unplanned fuel subsidy removal as pronounced by President Bola Tinubu during his inauguration ceremony in 2023. It is obvious that the Nigerian pensioners and other vulnerable groups in Nigeria are worse hit by the subsidy removal, which resulted to hyperinflation characterized by astronomical rise in the prices of goods and services, which has negatively affected every strata of our lives. Regrettably, as the poor Nigerians and pensioners alike, who are always at the receiving end of every obnoxious and insensitive policy of federal government, we are yet to recover from the last hike of PMS, which gave birth to the End Bad Governance protests across the country just a few months ago. And as if oblivious of the resultant consequences of the protests, the federal government defiantly went ahead to increase fuel price of PMS to further impoverish, pauperize, and choke the Nigerian masses in a manner capable of sending them to their early graves. As far as the NUP is concerned, this is the height of government insensitivity and the lawlessness, which might result to unimaginable grave consequences, as Nigerians cannot afford to be beggars in their own oil-rich country. The essence of this press conference is to remind His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, of the devastating conditions of Nigerian pensioners who are growing and wallowing in abject poverty, worsened by the avoidable incessant fuel increase that have rendered their paltry monthly pensions useless. Pensioners have no one in government to speak for them, and the only voice they have, which is the NUP, is often neglected by the authority that be. And as we all know, a dog that can only bark but cannot bite is usually ignored and overlooked. As you know, we are retirees, and the power of trade unions is the strike power. Pensioners are already lying prostrate on the ground. We cannot go on strike, and that is what is happening. To crown it all, Nigerians and pensioners alike are daily crying to high heavens to free them from this enslavement and exploitation in their own country. Our patience is overtaxed. The most unfortunate and the unkindest cause of it all, and the case in point, is the failure of the federal government to honor and fulfill its promise of the much touted 25,000 naira palliatives to pensioners, alongside the 6 months wage award to both workers and pensioners, which, to the best of our knowledge, had been overlooked and forgotten. In another development, and in line with the current economic situations we find ourselves, we wish to humbly suggest that the federal and state governments should consider using the new minimum wage of 70,000 as a basic or template to recompute pension emolument. That is to say, if the minimum wage for the workers is increased by 110%, the same rate of increment should be used to adjust pensions, as it is an incontrovertible fact that all categories of wage earners are in the same ship navigating stormy waters. Therefore, given the present economic quagmire we find ourselves, it will be discriminatory to approve 110% for workers and give the pensioners less in the same economy. This argument can be logically buttressed by the simple fact that if the idea for the minimum wage is to enable workers meet up with the ever-increasing cost of living and cushion the effects of hyperinflation, then the pensioners should get it too, as they are also affected by the vagaries of economic hardship. As we all now, as we all know, the pensioners are no longer in service and do not have any other means. Another means of settling their ever-piling bills. It is therefore equitable that they should be given living minimum wage. Finally, the Nigerian pensioners wish to express their disappointment with what is happening in the country today, in a nation that prides itself as giant of Africa, and in negation of its national anthem, which says, "The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain." As far as the pensioners' union is concerned, the labor of our heroes past and present is perpetually in vain. No thanks to their neglect over decades by the previous and present governments. This is the reason why our union has always canvassed for its involvement in the distribution of palliatives, disbursement of any social intervention funds for its members, as well as appointment of its leaders to head all pension-related organizations and these agencies for equitable and prudent management of their affairs in line with the wise saying that it is he who wears the shoes that knows where it pinches. Finally, Your Excellency, the onus of fixing a broken economy lies with the leadership of every country, and it takes a courageous and committed leader to do this. We hereby call on you to take the bull by the horn and do the needful against all odds towards addressing the hunger problem ravaging the country simply caused by fuel price hike, which in our thinking and judgment is reversible. Our amiable President Bola Tinubu will admonish you to listen to the voice of the people and wipe their tears, and not to succumb to the dictates of the so-called international economists through the instrumentality of the IMF, who have always held the economy of this country by the jugular because of their selfish interests. As a man of action, Nigerians expect action from you now to fix the economy before the situation gets out of hand. A sitting time saves 9. This country is a general problem. It is not particularly for the pensioners alone. What we are doing today is to lend our voice to what other people have said before, to see whether the government can now listen. I believe that governments are there for the welfare, peace, security of the people. In this country today, we do not have peace. We have insecurity. And added to it is hunger. And it does not appear to all Nigerians that this government is doing its best to bring these punishments down. So that is why we are now calling, adding our voice to those of others, asking him that this is the moment now to act. Unless he's telling us that he is not the Nigerian president. If he does not know it, let him know it now, that the Nigerian people are groaning under the weight of the economic punishments that are being given to them. On the issue of Ajero, we do not want to cry more than the bereaved. What we are hearing now is that he has been arrested. The organization, the people, to take the first step will be the NLC. When they act, we will follow.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are